Hey everybody, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Paul.
And welcome back to the Fan Voice. This is episode 41, which is crazy.
We've been doing this for a bit.
We've been doing this for a while now. And it also kind of comes with a little bit of a change.
Mm-hmm.
So our topic today is internet celebrities, more specifically YouTube celebrities, because that's kind of the realm we know the most.
Yeah,
But we're going to be talking about kind of internet celebrity like status in general,
right?
But we're not going to mention specific names from other places. It's mostly going to be about YouTubers.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we're actually going to do some news because we realized that we've been doing a lot of like smaller videos, so we thought we would do some news at the top, and we have some stuff that we wanted to talk about this week. So just really quickly, here's some of the great news that happened this week. One of which was new Nintendo president. Let me find his name. There it is. His name is Tatsumi Kimishima. Yeah. And he was actually the president of Nintendo of America in the GameCube era.
Oh, I see.
And then he went on to be the director of the Pokemon Company for a while. And then he was the managing director of the company, which I'm guessing means like HR and stuff. It says here in this article I'm reading. Yeah, it's general manager of the general affairs division. There's a lot of general things happening here in this man.
But with Pokemon and GameCube under your belt, I'm kind of confident in that.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he was a former president of Nintendo of America too.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
kind of a big deal because we don't get a lot of kind of Western people with Western experience in a role like this usually. That doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that.
Yeah.
And I really like that change. I think that's going to be. Hopefully that takes it in a good direction.
Yeah. All we can do is hope.
yeah. So anyway, new Nintendo president. But along with that news, two people were named fellows of Nintendo, and I don't understand this at all. But Genyo Takeda, who I guess is the general manager of the Integrated Research and Development Division, is a technology fellow, and I'm putting quotations around this. And then Shigeru Miyamoto is a creative fellow. And I was like, what the hell is a fellow? I'm so confused. Basically, it's a board advisor. Basically, they're on the board, and they're just an advisor now. So I think they don't have their old position, but they just are still working at the company, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're more of just the highest level advisor of the company.
So would you say they're, like, at head level with this new president?
I don't know about the same level. I mean, the president's obviously going to have the decision-making power.
I was just wondering, like, behind the scenes, like, are they about the same, and he just has the title kind of thing?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
It is hard to say. But I'm like, it's just like a weird word, and it's weird because I'm like, is Miyamoto still head of game development? Because wasn't he head of game development for a while? But now he's the first creative fellow of Nintendo? I have no idea.
But, it's really funny. Like, a lot of people were thinking that Miyamoto might take up the position of president. But at the same time, you look at that guy personally, I see him as like, oh, I don't want to deal with all the like official stuff. I just want to be the creator guy. Right. So he's like reaching as high as he can, not being official.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. At any position Miyamoto's in, he's gonna have a lot of say and a lot of creative influence at this point.
It's definitely true.
Yeah.
It's definitely true.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another little news on the agenda that I'm really excited about is the announcement of The Splat, which is going to be a Nickelodeon channel dedicated specifically to 90s Nicktoons and maybe some tunes around that time.
Which is really awesome.
Yeah, because my gosh, I don't even know what's on Nickelodeon anymore.
It's mostly live action stuff.
Yeah, and then SpongeBob, and I think that's it.
Yeah. Although, I would kind of say the same thing. It's not, in my opinion, it's not like Cartoon Network's doing that much better. Everybody's like, oh, well, there are some good Cartoon Network shows. I'm like, there are, but Not largely. Largely, if you turn on Cartoon Network, you're gonna see not very good things.
Yeah, but what is it? I don't know of anything interesting on Nickelodeon, but Cartoon Network still has a few like critically acclaimed gems in the cartoon realm. Steven
Maybe.
Universe, Adventure Time. They
I don't. So I don't agree about Adventure Time,
Mhm.
and I haven't seen Steven Universe, but
Okay.
I mean,
Adventure Time is definitely kind of random, but it still has those like really deep episodes that no one
Yeah.
was expecting for a time period.
yeah.
And then Steven Universe has kind of solidified that process a lot better.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and I do want to watch Steven
Yeah,
Universe a lot.
yeah.
It's just like when I think about Cartoon Network, I think about like
Gumball and Uncle Grandpa and
well,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
and honestly, like a lot of those shows are there, and then I think about like there were a couple periods in Cartoon Network's life where the only stuff that was on Cartoon Network were really good shows.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you can't really like I honestly think back at like Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack and all those, and like when those were on at the same time, kind of like well,
Yeah.
Dexter's Lab was earlier, but when they all were kind of like overlapping, was I mean that was like there was not really a bad show.
It was good times. It was good times.
Yeah, so like I don't know, it's just
And I mean people could probably nail us for being nostalgic or whatnot, but
no, you can.
the fact that they're dedicating a whole channel to these
It's
old
really
cartoons,
cool.
it's saying something.
It's really,
you know?
really cool. Yeah,
They're looking for some answers, as far as I'm concerned, and like it's really interesting because I feel like overall they've been reluctant to this process. Because if they weren't, they would have done this a lot sooner. Because I think of the Disney Channel that went in the same suit a lot earlier.
Mhm.
Like all of a sudden, they just had all kiddie live action shows. But they created XD, and I think another channel before that, which was all their old Disney cartoons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, they just have a trailer up, which is nice to watch because you're just seeing all the cartoons that are confirmed.
That's
and
really cool.
it seems like they just have about everything. They got Doug, Rugrats, All Real Monsters, Ren and Stimpy, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, I think we're going to get all the classics we could possibly want in this new channel.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I am glad that they're doing this.
Yeah.
I just don't like we don't have cable, so I'm like,
yeah.
what do we do?
That'll be the game changer right
I
there. No, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I miss those old cartoons.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is it's like I love the idea of a channel, but I'd love for you to just put it on Netflix.
Yeah,
Instead,
seriously.
so that I can go watch it on Netflix. Can you please do that? Because then I would watch the crap out of it.
Well, they have a whole YouTube channel called The Splat now, so maybe we'll get something good out of that.
Oh, that would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they start doing some online content.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Hopefully. Yeah, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, so the last piece of news we have real quick is the Rock Band 4 set list was just released. And it was like the entire thing. It released like the entire set list, which is pretty cool, actually.
The whole thing?
Yeah, it's like the entire set list. So I guess just like want to outline some bands / songs. It's actually a pretty good mix here, old, new, and like they even have some country songs, metal, whatever else. So just like outline the randomness of this, I'm gonna shout out some bands: Aerosmith, Arctic Monkeys, Avenged Sevenfold, Black Keys, Brad Paisley featuring Keith Urban, Cake, Short Skirt Long Jacket, Hell Yes,
yeah.
The Cure, Friday I'm in Love, Dream Theater, Elvis Presley, Fall Out Boys, and unfortunately it's Centuries, not a fan, Fleetwood Mac, Foo Fighters.
Wait, The Killers? Somebody told me they already had that.
I believe they had it.
It was DLC.
Yeah,
right?
it was DLC. So.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
they've done a lot. They've done a lot. Yeah. Okay.
Heart, Imagine Dragons. Unfortunately, it's about my life.
Wait, which song? Which song?
I Bet My Life.
Okay.
I don't really, right? I'm the same way.
I do love that. What is it? It's Time.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that one.
Judas Priest, Killers, Leonard Skinner, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, the impression that I get. Damn, good pickup.
Yeah.
And then like there's like new stuff on here. Mumford and Sons, The Wolf. I believe Paramore, Still Into You is on here. Ozzy Osbourne, R.E.M., Queens of the Stone Age, Rush, Soundgarden, System of a Down, although it's spiders. But Van Morrison, Brown Eyed Girl is a great example of like what is happening in this set list. Like it's
Yeah,
so
true.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And then The Who, The Seeker. So, I mean, I skipped over a lot of stuff here. They even have Uptown Funk on here. So they are really kind of going back to, in my opinion, they're going back to Rock Band 2, where they were just like, you know what sounds fun? All of these songs that are like totally random and from every era and a lot of different rock genres, and like that's what sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Instead of going the Rock Band 3 route, which was like, yay, fun songs over here, and indie bands, don't forget about indie bands.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's great, except
a lot of them don't fit
yeah.
too well to actually play.
Right, and they're not fun to play.
Like that one freaking Tony Hawk skateboard song.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
The most repetitive thing ever kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a pretty good set list.
Yeah.
There are some bands and some songs in here that I didn't recognize, and when I looked them up, I wasn't, like, super excited.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a solid set list.
And I think no matter what your taste is, they're gonna have a lot of
right.
DLC behind it.
And
for
unlike
you to form
right.
what you want,
exactly.
kind of thing.
And unlike Rock Band 3, because I personally have problems with Rock Band 3 set list. Unlike Rock Band 3, I looked at this and immediately went, there are like 10 songs that I want to play.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah. Like, I really want to play Fleetwood Mac. I really want to play The Feast and the Famine from Foo Fighters. Goddamn Heart, Avenged Sevenfold.
I'm so ready to sing Short Skirt.
Right? Short Skirt, Long Jacket.
I'll do it expert right now.
Right? Like,
because his voice is the easiest thing.
Yeah, like, there are so many good ones. Even The Wolf from Mumford & Sons. I don't particularly like that song that much, but, yeah, I mean, there are a lot.
Yeah, they gotta have the hits in there.
Yeah.
It's essential.
So, yeah, I think this is a pretty good set list.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for a lot of it. The one that I'm actually the most excited for is The Seeker. From The Who, because I love The Who songs in Rock Band. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd actually be curious to think if anybody is as much of a Rock Band fan as I am, and tell me what you guys think.
Yeah, if you are, and if you haven't checked it out yet, we had a whole podcast on that. You should check it out.
Yes, you should, because it's awesome.
We reminisce and then talk about the future. It's fun times.
Yeah. All right.
So we ready for our main event?
Yeah, so that was the news.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing that every week, by the way. And we're just going to kind of save things
It'll
up.
vary depending on how many things we see that are
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, how many things we want to talk about.
No strict schedule on that.
But we're on to our topic. So, we wanted to talk about, because we've done, very recently, we talked about YouTube gaming and Twitch, and some personality discussion kind of wound its way in there. We're talking about certain people. And we really wanted to just kind of talk about YouTube and internet celebrity status in general.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking a lot about internet celebrities. Mm-hmm. We're going to be mostly talking about YouTubers.
Those are the people we follow most, even though there are a lot of people out there.
Right, there are a lot of people. And I would argue, as far as internet celebrities go that I think YouTubers are the biggest. Mm-hmm. So we're going to just kind of focus on them.
Yeah.
But this really applies to a lot of different internet stardom in general.
Absolutely. I think just the phenomena of internet stardom is something just so, like, it makes me so curious and wonder, how the heck did we get here? You know?
Right.
So, yeah, should we just sort of...
Yeah, so, okay, so let's start off. We wanted to talk about a lot of people. We kind of have a small list here. Yeah. And we want to talk about why people are attracted to these internet celebrities, basically.
Yeah.
And what kind of differentiates them from the competition.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot. We have some small and some very big.
Yeah.
Or at least, we do, actually. Mostly. So we kind of have the whole gamut here
Yeah,
of YouTubers.
absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about.
Do you just want to kind of...
Yeah, we can just kind of go down the line.
Yeah.
It's kind of random
Mm-hmm.
and all over the place, but yeah, let's just go down the line. So the first one I just wrote down was Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth is really a production company, but it originally was Red versus Blue. So you could
That
definitely,
was its first thing?
yeah, you
Okay.
could definitely argue that Rooster Teeth is not a YouTuber, right? Like Rooster Teeth is not just a YouTube channel because they're not
like
at
a
all.
mass entertainment system.
Yeah, essentially, they
Mhm.
have their own website. They actually just revamped it recently.
Yeah.
They have a whole new app for mobile devices.
And then they got podcasts and little like games and stuff they do online.
Yeah, I mean they have. So they have like 3 podcasts. Yeah, 3 podcasts. They have an entire channel that's dedicated to Let's Plays, which is enormous. They have a whole nother section of people called Funhouse who also do their own like style of Let's Plays.
Yeah.
They have. I mean, it's really kind of an MCN, which is a multi-channel network, is what they call in YouTube.
Yeah.
And basically, Machinima was kind of the first example I heard of that was an MCN. That took people kind of under its wing and then gave it legal protection for, rights to their videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Rooster Teeth is really kind of an MCN. And they have some of the biggest YouTube channels, but they're very selective. They own their channels. It's not just like they're partnered with people.
Right.
So they own Funhouse. They own Slow Mo Guys, which is a huge YouTube channel in its own right?
Yeah.
That's completely different. It's not gaming. It's not anything, right? Like, so Rooster Teeth's really kind of weird in this space.
Yeah.
Because they started with Red versus Blue and they built this company from the ground up. And from the very beginning, I think what makes them attractive to people on the internet who are looking for stuff like this is because they seemed very approachable.
Yeah.
For me, that started with the podcast. I was listening to the podcast when it was the Drunk Tank podcast, and they were phenomenal, and they were hilarious, and they would rag on each other, and talk about where they were going to go to lunch, and like they were just incredibly approachable.
Yeah.
And so you instantly made a connection to them because you felt like that was like, at least for me, I had never seen anything like that before.
Right.
Right? And I had never like experienced, like I knew who Tom Cruise was, but I even as a kid, even when I was like 10, I was like, yeah, it's Tom Cruise, but I don't really know Tom Cruise. But then I listened to the podcast, and he's, telling a story about how he pooped himself on an airplane, which is a totally a legit story that happens, although that one happened recently.
What?
You're instantly like this, like, I know this dude, sort of. Like, I feel like I instantly have a connection, like.
Oh my gosh.
And they just seem very approachable. And that doesn't stop when you meet them at a convention.
Right.
Until very recently, until this whole thing is kind of blown up, then it seems a little weird.
Yeah. So
Rooster Teeth personalities seem to me to be like the good example.
Yeah.
I feel like for why people are attracted, why the Rooster Teeth community is so large, because they built a community off of being approachable and feeling like you're a part of their community, like with them involved.
Oh, I see.
Not like you're just a part of a fandom.
Right.
And I think a lot of YouTubers, that's what they're going for.
That's a huge element to the YouTube process in general, is the approachability, because unlike a TV show or just stage or news presence, there's no back guy telling you to do what you want to do. Especially, like, I guess there could be YouTube people trying to do that if they choose to do so, but when push comes to shove, you don't have to do that. Right. You can be you. That's one of the best options for YouTube. And again, the relatability and why people are attracted to him. And yeah, Rooster Teeth is a huge example of that. Just of what they've established and everything.
And I mean, the fact that they're so, I keep using the word approachable, but I do think it fits. The fact that they have kind of made an entire company around that is, I think, what makes them a great example, because they started out that it was just, a couple of them.
Right.
and it was the people in Red versus Blue were on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But now they have Red versus Blue. They have Ruby, which is arguably bigger in its own right at this point. And then they have the podcast, which is huge, and then they have the Let's Plays, which are huge.
Even Ruby is like a very, I feel like, fan relatable project because it doesn't have the heavy like animation budget or anything.
Right.
Like
it's
that.
like it's very charming. It's very endearing.
Right.
You're instantly endeared to it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this is great.
Yeah.
You obviously have a lot of passion for this,
right.
and you went forward with it. It doesn't hurt that there's legitimately good things, like well done things about it. It's a legitimately well produced show at times, right? Like
exactly. It's the prime example, I would say, of good creativity with not a lot of money, and it's shining through, kind of thing. Yeah.
So I mean, just having all of these different things, having something like Ruby, having it be that approachable, having Let's Play, have it being that approachable.
Yeah.
Is, I mean, they have, I don't even know how many Rooster Teeth, like, they're literally called Rooster Teeth personalities.
And there's so many.
There's so many of them. I mean, I can't count them. Like, I could not list them all. It's just kind of a model now. I feel like they've made it into a model, basically.
I would say at the end of the day, Rooster Teeth might be, like, the father of YouTube celebrities. Pretty much,
a little bit. Like they didn't, they weren't there at the very beginning. We'll get to who was kind of there.
To reach that amount of success in so many different elements,
right?
I can't think of many people who have done that.
No, and to do that before YouTube was a thing, also makes it kind of like, wow, you guys were here.
Yeah,
like before any of this happened.
Right.
Right. Like you made this a thing when you had to go and download your video off of your server,
right? That
you were paying exorbitant amounts for because so many people were downloading your episodes of Red vs. Blue.
Yeah,
I mean so I think you're right. I think like they're the father of not just like a YouTube but like an internet personality, an internet celebrity,
right?
Basically,
yeah.
Absolutely. So I guess we should talk a little bit about some of the people, really one of the people that was there at the beginning of. Sort of at the beginning of YouTube. I'm not going to say at the beginning because I don't know. But the Vlogbrothers have been around for I don't even know how long.
Mm-hmm.
They're not enormous by any stretch of the imagination. But they are probably two of the most influential people in kind of the YouTube community as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
One of them is John Green. He's a very successful writer. He wrote Fault in Our Stars and Paper Towns, Looking for Alaska, if you've ever heard of any of those. Very, very big young adult novels.
Yeah.
They're also very good, by the way. they're very popular, but they are like surprisingly good. If you've never read them, they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's an author in his own right and everything. And his brother, Hank Green, is... just arguably as big of an internet personality because of their channel together. Mm-hmm. But Hank Green also helped his brother start VidCon, which is the biggest YouTube convention.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enormous.
Oh my goodness.
It's huge. It's, I think, Anthem? I don't remember exactly where it is. But it's huge, and it happens, it's every year. Mm-hmm. And I really think these two guys were the first two people I really followed on YouTube.
Okay.
I think very early on in, me just going on and searching it, I would find the Vlogbrothers. They would always be there.
Yeah.
There was a stretch for a couple years where they were always on the front page.
Right.
And their format got kind of cut out a little bit. I mean, they do the classic vlog, the jumping around, the quick edits sort of thing. They keep the point of the Vlogbrothers actually originally was a project where every day they would switch off making a video for each other and they put it online because they lived in different states and they couldn't talk. But the rule was you had to keep it under 3 minutes.
Huh.
And I would argue that's part of where the whole vlog quick edit style comes from. Is partly from them. I mean, they didn't originate it.
What are the videos like exactly?
They just talk about whatever they want.
Yeah.
if for the first couple years, I think it was just more personal stuff, but it was, it's gotten to the point now where John Green takes a few minutes and talks about the immigrant situation in Syria,
Wow.
right? Like seriously, and
Yeah.
and that was actually a great video that happened
Mhm.
recently. So they talk about whatever they want, and it's great. It's a really, really great format, and it's still a really, really good show.
Oh,
But they
that's
were
good.
kind of there from, I would argue, from my beginning
Yeah.
of YouTube.
Okay.
Very, very early on.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess what kind of attracts them is, once again, the approachability
Hmm.
of seeing that, but also the fact that they kind of took their community with them, right? Like John Green didn't abandon everybody when he went and became this big writer.
He still did it.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
still came back and he was there and he was part of the community over and over again.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the same thing with Hank Green. They went
Mhm.
off and made a couple educational kind of shows on YouTube that are great, by the way. Crash Course is a great show. And same thing, they didn't abandon people, right? Like they knew who their community was and they wanted to stick with them.
That's fantastic. I mean, to have that amount of loyalty along with how long they've been around, you build
Right.
such a strong, deep relationship with
Mhm.
so many viewers, which
Right.
is, I would say, another thing that's really important when uh, just being an internet celebrity, a YouTube celebrity. That's a huge advantage as opposed to being like a star celebrity out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the relationships you can build with your community.
Right, yeah. It's incredibly important. And I mean, these guys fostered this amazing community. I mean, we were talking about Rooster Teeth, so did Rooster Teeth, but I can't. The Vlogbrothers created just this community that just fundraises for charity like crazy and,
Oh wow.
builds charities from the ground up by themselves. And
Yeah.
and it's crazy. I mean, that community is really, it's very tight knit and it's very big, and you really don't realize how tight knit that's a great
Mhm.
example of a very big group being very tight knit,
Yeah.
right? And it's very, very cool. Yeah, so they did a really good job, and they're
Yeah.
some of the
Seriously.
coolest people on YouTube. I feel like if you met them at a convention or something like that, it would just be amazing.
I guess that's another thing that's advantageous or attractive about being a YouTube celebrity is I feel like it's a little easier not to lose your head, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
There's a lot of, you don't have paparazzi following you.
Yeah.
Yeah, these stars are very big, and we'll get into later how companies are starting to get in that
Mm-hmm.
and recognize that their popularity is huge.
Yeah.
But traditional media likes to kind of send the paparazzi after people,
Right.
right? Like that's the way everybody's done that.
Or
But
look
you
for
don't
like gossiping people.
right
and
look for
stuff.
gossip because everybody's trying to be very private. But a lot of these YouTube celebrities, and this is another thing that is very attractive, we talked about this, is approachability and also vulnerability.
Right.
Like YouTube celebrities don't hold back. They're like, yeah, I'm going to tell you about this shit that happened to me today.
Exactly.
And they say it in a vlog, and everybody's like, that's ridiculous. You don't need paparazzi to go after somebody like
Their
that.
content is their inside scoop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you just watch their channel.
Yeah.
Like,
They tell you everything.
Yeah, just watch a Vlogbrothers video. They'll tell you about their life.
Yeah.
You don't really need paparazzi to go after that.
Yeah.
So that means that because they don't have paparazzi, they're much more comfortable, and they're not being nitpicked over everything on TMZ,
Mhm.
right? They're probably much more comfortable being out in the open and hanging out with people and being a part of a community.
Yeah.
Now
absolutely.
that can change very quickly
Mhm.
because we have to remember the internet can be a very unforgiving place.
That's true.
And a lot of people have given up and gone dark, right? Early YouTube days, or even just now, the fame comes up and they go, I can't handle it, and they have to leave.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's not a perfect system.
I think at this point, like the internet and YouTube is definitely growing a lot, and there are some danger zones now to that. But I think about what is it? Just basically comments on any social media
Mhm.
outputs, YouTube, Twitter, maybe even Tumblr, or not Tumblr, what's that other one? Reddit.
Yeah.
Yes. You just shut those out,
Right.
and you have
Yeah.
that option,
Mhm. Mhm. It's definitely true.
Yeah. Would you say there are any other threats outside of the commenting systems?
For online.
For just, like, going dark. Like, what else could make a YouTube celebrity go dark?
I mean, it's kind of plays into the comment system, but there's a severe invasion of privacy because privacy isn't really that well protected on the internet. Let's not lie about it. You can very easily find someone's information.
That's true.
And then you can post it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of people who kind of go dark because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Who decide to give up because somebody posts their information or, I mean, there's a lot of death threats that come in. Once again, having to do with the comment system.
Right.
Stuff like that. I mean, you gotta have kind of a thick skin. I mean, these people that we're talking about right now, they absolutely have a thick skin.
Yeah,
because there are trolls everywhere, and trolls are despite what other people may tell you, internet trolls are not a fun thing. They are very destructive.
I've never understood the satisfaction people get.
Right.
Being
a lot of people glamorize it.
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
You know what a troll is to me? A troll is that random person who pees in a urinal and doesn't flush it. It's like, what is the satisfaction of this? I don't even understand.
I would say it's a little worse than that, actually. A troll is like the person who comes into the bathroom and pees on people and then leaves. That's kind of the troll in a lot of cases, actually.
I hope that has never happened to you.
No, it hasn't. But that's how I imagine an internet troll in real life.
Okay, I'll take that.
If he didn't have or if he had anonymity that he had on the internet in real life, that's what he would do.
Yeah.
That's how much of an asshole he is, right?
Yeah,
like, that's what I imagine as the internet troll.
Very true.
I don't know. I mean, there are definitely a lot of bad things, to becoming a YouTube celebrity. You're still a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the paparazzi. You can feel a little bit more, open with your fans and meet them in person and not have to worry about it that much in person.
Yeah.
But you still have
that's
to deal
kind
with
of
all those
another
comments.
good thing is for trollers. Like, a lot of those people don't have the balls to say any of that in person.
Well, that's the only reason they're online doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
there's no consequence to any of
that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but ups and downs.
Ups and downs.
Definitely.
But that's what that's part of what makes a lot of these YouTubers, kind of attractive, and we become fans of them too. Is they they say fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I don't care about you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
You're like, fuck yeah, and then you get really into it. And sometimes I get that with a lot of these people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rooster Teeth. Bernie Burns is the owner of Rooster Teeth. He was the founder, and he kind of built the company in the first couple years it was started. The guy must be one of the nicest people. When he gets pissed at people, he tells you what's what, and it's awesome. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you for fucking saying something.
Yeah.
You make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
He's also the guy that says, I will never shut off comments.
Oh, wow.
I will always be in the comments. That's impressive.
Absolutely.
Especially when you have 8 million subscribers. Like, good lord.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's brave. Definitely.
Yeah.
To actually go through those comments and stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's talk about the gamers a little bit. We talked about YouTube gaming before.
Mm-hmm. So
let's just mention a couple. Rooster Teeth, definitely still gaming content in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
They also have a lot of non-gaming content, though.
A lot of different stuff.
A lot of different stuff.
Vlog Brothers is kind of discussion, intimate discussion and stuff. And now a huge part of YouTube has become gaming.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. The number one most subscribed person on YouTube, when the number one most subscribed person on YouTube is a gamer, gaming content is a majority of the content.
Right.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's true.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the people who are actually interacting with a video who aren't just turning on a song, because music is by far one of the biggest parts of YouTube.
Yeah.
But if you're actually talking about interactivity, about being on the comments and everything else, like, it's gaming.
Yeah.
Is kind of the biggest thing right now.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, some of our favorites, we talked about Game Grumps.
Big fan of that.
JonTron.
Yeah, and
JonTron is enormous.
Seriously, what is it?
I love JonTron.
So, honestly, that's probably where my internet following began. Like, I always found funny YouTube videos here and there, but actually following people, it started with JonTron slowly after that is Game Grumps, all thanks to Mr. Connor Tridy. Thank you very much. He was the first one to show me.
You've ruined my life, Connor.
No, but I feel like I've learned a lot from the both of them. Just starting with JonTron, I think he's a great example of a talented person just going from the ground up, similar to Ruby, but like he started with just videos out of his house and him just acting goofy, and his personality just pushed through to greater and greater heights, you know?
Yep.
And along with that, what I feel like I learned from the Game Grumps is they definitely have that approachability at this point, you know?
Yeah, most
with
definitely.
their stuff.
Yeah.
And they just teach a lot about like what I think what is good for current generations. Like the main thing I think about is frequency of videos, which they are doing an incredible job in. But just the relationship that Aaron and Dan have with each other is very intimate and kind of flipped the gaming aspect on its head for the time when they started, you know?
Yeah.
Beforehand, it was mostly Let's Plays.
Right.
Or just straight up comedy kind of thing. But they really like hammered in the real talk of it. And it's similar with the Vlog Brothers. Now there's this huge following of people who know them very well. And I mean, come on, they got the dream job.
Yeah,
you know?
they really do.
They sit on a couch and play video games all day, and it doesn't have to be instructional or super like scripted or comedic or something. They're either just chill, goofing off, you know? And I think that's a huge reason why a lot of people are attracted to them and aspire to be them.
Yeah, no, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, the amazing thing about the Game Grumps to me is that they put out so much content.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we talk about Rooster Teeth has 8 million subscribers on its main channel, right? Vlog Brothers, I don't know how much they have, but it's definitely not that, right? They I don't know how much they have. I'm not going to say it without knowing.
Yeah.
But they don't have that many.
Yeah.
Right? Game Grumps is another one of those. I mean, what are they at right now?
Let me look this up, because their numbers are huge.
Well, subscriber numbers?
Are they? Maybe they're not.
I don't know. I just Game Grumps is one of those channels to me that they put out so much.
2.5 million.
Okay, so 2.5 million is good. Yeah. But Game Grumps is one of those channels to me that they really don't have the biggest following when you think of gaming channels. But everyone knows who the Game Grumps is. Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it doesn't matter who you are. You know who the Game Grumps are.
Yeah.
Like, just everybody.
Yeah.
I really like that. They're kind of ubiquitous. Yeah, not everybody immediately goes, yeah, and the Game Grumps is automatically at that list. Not everybody does that. They have a different format. Like you were talking, it's different.
Right.
Like, it's not all comedy all the time. They're not edited at all. Right? But it's such a cool format, and everybody knows who they are.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether you like them or not, they're out there.
Yeah, and that's why I like them, because, I mean, 2.5 million, and I think JonTron has more than that. Does he?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Actually.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, as far as gaming goes, it's still huge, obviously. But it's not the biggest.
No. But the amount, you got to factor in the quantity.
Yep. Yeah,
the quantity times the following. They're kind of hitting gold right now.
Yeah, they kind of are, actually. Okay, JonTron is 1.9.
Not too. Only 500,000.
Yeah, man, what a lame-o. Anyway,
yeah.
So yeah, Game Grumps is awesome, and of course, speaking of JonTron, I love JonTron so much.
Yeah.
He is
absolutely.
one of my favorite people on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Just his timing and
his
energy
comedic
and
timing
stuff.
is perfect. He does he goes off the rails a lot, and when he does, he loses me.
Yeah.
But there are videos that he is so on point the entire time.
Yeah.
The anti-drug one, it's quickly becoming my favorite of all
yeah.
time.
And you look at a format like that, and you say, could a show or a stand-up comedian ever do something like that? It's literally not possible. It mixed with the editing and like his non-censorship self kind of thing.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just a format that's not possible with like regular TV celebrities or like stand-up performances, like I said.
And I mean, JonTron mixes the live action, him talking to the camera,
right?
Skits, gameplay, edited gameplay. Like he mixes all of that in a way that it's just like a 10 to 15 minute video.
Yeah,
and it's hilarious every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he really is one of those people that rarely misses the mark. And when he does, it's still funny, but you notice it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you go, oh wow, that wasn't a usual JonTron video. And then you think about it and you're like, I laughed a lot in that video.
It's kind of similar to like a band you really, really like, and they came out with the all-time platinum hitter that's like you can't find a flaw, and then they come out with another album, and at first you're upset because it's like, oh, it's not as good as the perfect album, but then you're like, these lyrics are good, okay, this song's really catchy. Yeah. And there was one other thing I wanted to say. I can't remember. Oh yeah, the level of just commentary on something that YouTube has brought. Yeah, JonTron is a prime example of that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, like making commentary on things like
video games and stuff like that.
Yeah, and JonTron makes he makes very funny content. Sometimes makes very like poignant. Like he makes really good points about things too. Yeah. Absolutely. Where, and a lot of YouTubers do that. They mix that really well.
They're starting to get on board with, like, the comedic timing and just, like, commenting on stuff, especially the Let's Players. That's a big part of it. Mm-hmm. And you know what I feel like we're moving to? We're moving to a whole website of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Kind of. No, you're kind of right, actually.
I'm okay with that. I'm
okay with that too. Yeah. I'm okay with that too. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and of course there are many other huge gaming personalities. I mean, the Yogscast is still big. Mm-hmm. Markiplier is huge now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously PewDiePie.
Yes.
Obviously, you can't mention him. And I think what makes a lot of these guys really popular is, at first, it's the approachability, but these guys have gotten to the point where they've blown past people like Rooster Teeth. Markiplier's at 10 million right now?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. But
yeah, I think he's at 1.
He's super popular. Yeah.
And I feel like what makes these guys a little bit different is they've kind of they have it down to a science a little bit. Mm-hmm. And they know what's going to be popular, and they know what's going to be, what people are going to be watching and talking about. I mean, why does Markiplier play, Five Nights at Freddy's? I'm looking at it right now. He's almost at 10 million. He's at 9.5 million.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's Markiplier for you.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of these people, they take it to kind of the next level where they're, I mean, I don't want to say they're faking it, but let's face it, PewDiePie is not always 100% legit about a reaction that he has.
Yeah, what is it? Markiplier is probably the most energetic that I actually don't immediately say he's fake kind of thing.
Now, in some of those Five Nights at Freddy's ones, at the beginning of the videos, I'm like, you're faking it. Yeah. By the end, he's not. He doesn't care. He's actually caring about the game. Yeah. And a lot of the jump scares are like legit. Like he's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And he just kind of rolls with it.
He just kind of rolls with it. But like a lot of these people play it up a little bit, and
Yeah.
the horror games and GTA, that's what they focus on when they get to a certain point. And that grows their audience beyond that, right? But those people, all of those 9.5 million subscribers, aren't going to be there at a convention. So the approachability to me is still the most important thing for somebody like Markiplier.
Yeah,
when you walk up to him at a convention, he still has to be like,
he's still
I'm a part
himself.
of this. Right, I'm a part of this community. If he wasn't that, he wouldn't have that base, I don't think.
That's a huge link to it, you know, because like there is playing up, but I think there's a lot of merit, and a lot of these celebrities have, for the most part, stayed themselves, and that's why like so many people stick with them. JonTron is crazy energetic, and then like current Game Grumps with Aaron and Dan is like they're not as energetic, but they have their moments and stuff like that.
Right.
But they're so themselves, you know.
Yeah.
And I think there's continually merit to that for different people if they can just find their way to sell themselves, you know.
Yeah.
There's a way, definitely.
All right, so that's some of the bigger ones. I wanted to mention some smaller-ish YouTube channels.
Sure. Yeah. Go for it.
So I guess the first one I should mention, kind of going down in subscriber order. Mr. Sark is a very big. He was a very big Machinima personality, which was an MCN for a while. Kind of not doing so well right now. They just got hit by the FTC. So that was a thing. But, or not the FTC, whatever. The ad commission, basically, said they were doing something illegal. But yeah, Machinima was huge for a while. That had Sean Anderson, Hutch, Mr. Sark, later APL Fisher. But Mr. Sark kind of broke out on his own a few years ago and actually started doing just a YouTube channel, which he never did. He was basically just a producer. And then Machinima brought him into the YouTube space, and he was suddenly saw himself at the helm of a YouTube show. So now he just does gameplay. And he's climbing pretty quickly, and he's easily one of the most clean editors I've seen on YouTube. His videos are his style is not for everybody. He's very, like, sometimes he plays kind of like the macho asshole. It's a character. But his editing style is very kind of clean. And the reason that I actually mentioned Mr. Sark is a big part about YouTube and a part of kind of what they kind of spread around is they all play with each other. So like Mr. Sark and Sean Anners and a bunch of other big YouTubers all play the same games, and they all post their different viewpoints of the same games.
Yeah.
That spreads it so that the lower subscribed people are suddenly getting flooded.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's really interesting to also see that dynamic.
Yeah.
Of a bunch of YouTubers who are there, they're comedic, right? They may not be like playing up reactions to a huge extent, like we were talking, but they're there, they're obviously trying to be funny, and there's a bunch of them in one place.
Right.
And that's a lot of the reason why people that's a big reason why people subscribe, I think, to channels like Sean Anners, because of his friends, because of his friend group that he plays with. That's hilarious, and that he can get reactions out of, and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, I think that's really cool, and I think that's something that highlights a bigger, and we'll get into this a little bit later, it highlights, like, the collaboration aspect.
Yeah, it's not as difficult so long as people live around each other. And so many dang people live in California. So.
Well, true, but I mean, like, these guys all play, they're on Skype.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, it's games, you can play online, but...
Yeah.
But that isn't to say that a lot of them don't live in California, though, because they absolutely do.
Which I don't think is absolutely necessary,
it's not.
But that's just the way it's happening.
It's not necessary. It's really not. But, it's Cali. Whatever.
Yeah. But it's still really cool, because, again, we think about... collaborations isn't a new thing. There's, like, what is it? Everybody Loves Raymond was on King of Queens in an episode, or you got, like, guest people on different music albums kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, again, the process is so much easier.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want to come over and do video with me? Yeah, I do. And there you go. You got a collaboration.
Yep.
You're either like partnering two big fandoms together or helping out a friend to bring them up as well. The choice is yours, and it's right there for the taking.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah. So just the last kind of gaming YouTuber that I wanted to mention that's kind of small was Vinesauce. Not a lot of people have heard of Vinesauce. They're actually a group of streamers. And then Vinny, who's kind of the most popular one, has an entire channel to himself.
Yeah, and his main hook is the corruptions, right?
Yeah, he does a lot of corruptions
Yeah.
of video games. And he plays a lot of just weird, off-the-wall shit.
Yeah.
I think he's got about 300,000 subscribers right now, which is very good. He's been growing pretty steadily.
Yeah.
And just a really funny guy. And the kind of guy who can take a stream and make it into a very funny edited video. And that's, I mean, we're Twitch stars, we wanted to talk a little bit about them. Like, this is one of those people that...
Oh, he does a lot of Twitch stuff.
Yeah, no, and that's where he streams. And then, he kind of takes that stuff and he makes it into this great, short, edited YouTube video.
In one frame, I could describe, I guess, the audience appeal of Vinesauce, as far as the corruptions go, at least, is like, you're sitting on your couch, you're playing Donkey Kong or Smash Bros. Or something, you randomly pause it, and it's the character making the weirdest face ever, and he's all like this kind of thing. Like, we've all had our moments, but, like, someone like this just harnesses it so well.
Right.
And that's a huge thing about just, like, the gaming in general, is, like, it tickles those points that, like, you wouldn't think are important parts of the game or comedy or whatnot, but they hit hard right in the heart, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So, yeah, I mean, Vinesauce, if you haven't heard of him, by the way, I want to shout him out because he's cool. You should check him out. He's really funny.
Yeah.
So, I guess just the last couple things that...
There was one more.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't mind. I wanted to shout out, I guess both Did You Know Gaming and Matt Pat.
Yes.
Matt Pat Game Theory, which I think their style is a little more recent, but very untouched in the industry, because I think for a while everyone thought comedy, there's no other way.
Right.
Yeah, kind of thing. Where Matt Pat, he does work very hard on his editing and comedy with it, but his information and homework he does to bring about these intricate facts in, along with Did You Know Gaming, it's just super interesting, like, trivia and theories, and like, it's kind of revitalized the element of discussion, like thorough discussion on games, theories, movies, etc., etc. Oh, freaking Every Frame of Painting?
Oh, that's another one. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Go watch Every Frame of Painting.
That's another one where he discusses just the art of film and visual cinematography and stuff.
Really, really good. Really well edited, really well written.
Right.
Go check it out. Very informative and very entertaining. This is kind of like game theory in the same.
Yeah.
Very informative and really entertaining.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You love to watch their videos because you're like, I never knew that.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
So,
and you're right, it's not comedy. And in a way, that makes them attractive in a way that you wouldn't expect.
Exactly.
You're like, wow, that's really refreshing. That was fascinating.
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because I've watched 6 Let's Plays in the right, like
of people yelling.
Right, of people yelling at GTA. Right,
yeah.
like, yeah, it's very, very true. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's very refreshing.
And who the heck knows, we might get one more new subject that we haven't really thought of before, kind of thing, in the future. That's another beauty of YouTube. There's just so many possibilities for people to explore, all in one central thing.
Yeah.
I guess you can say. But yeah, we can move forward. I just wanted to mention
that was a really good idea.
Yeah.
To mention that. So we just mention those were kind of the gamers, I guess, in a lot of ways, but I just want to mention really quickly people kind of outside of YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention Will Wheaton. who had a very popular blog and just kind of was the nerd's nerd, sort of, for a really, really long time, and kind of did his own thing outside of YouTube. I mean, he's had, TV shows, and he's written books, and, he's been a keynote at Gen Con for a couple years in a row. Like, stuff like that, he's just kind of been outside of YouTube. Very recently, he's gotten inside of YouTube with Tabletop and with Titan's Grave, which we've had a discussion about before.
Right, yeah.
So Wowing's kind of interesting. He's the kind of person that I like I would say is what started out much like Rooster Teeth outside of it.
Yeah.
And then is now, everybody thinks of him as a YouTube celebrity.
Yeah, he welcomes it with open arms kind of thing. This is the new thing. I fit in like a glove.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And then just some outside of it, oddly enough, Vine stars are enormous. I don't get it, but they're huge. They have movie deals where YouTubers don't get movie deals.
That is insane, I will say. But what I will say is there is definitely a trend of shorter material being more attractive.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I would not deny there's going to be Snapchat celebrities in the future. Just very short, they do funny Snapchat stories.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. Because Vine proves that it doesn't matter how short it is.
Right.
You can make funny content in that short amount of time.
And a lot of the time, it seems like the shorter is the better,
Right.
You got your joke out. You win. It's over.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very true. And I mean, these Vine stars are hit huge because they hit the, early teen demographic.
Yeah.
That can be really hard to hit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the new social media age of just scrolling through 100 things in like 10 minutes kind of stuff.
Right, yeah, and experiencing so much in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very true. So yeah, Vine stars are absolutely enormous. We talked about Twitch stars a little bit. I mean, they're absolutely huge in their own right now.
Yeah.
Twitch is huge.
And it's becoming almost the new TV for a lot of people, who
Yeah, no,
watch
it
all the
definitely
competitive stuff, sticking with the Let's Plays, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean, you have your sports and your comedy, and it's all about gaming.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then just the last one that I wanted to mention that's kind of outside of YouTube is the Try Guys, who are from BuzzFeed. If you've never seen the Try Guys, they're just a very funny group of guys who try different things, and it can range from very vulgar things to just very funny things in general.
Okay.
They tried cosplay at Anime Expo. The video is great. Go check it out. They actually judged the costume contest one day, so that's really fun. Nice. And that's just an example, like BuzzFeed in general is kind of an example of something that suddenly just gets huge as like a, just content Facebook sort of thing, people linking from Facebook, to the next thing you know, the Try Guys are enormous.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. And that really has more to do about Facebook sharing, in my opinion, than it does about YouTube. Their YouTube channels are big, definitely, but it really has to do with they go everywhere. And the Try Guys is a great example. Their stuff just goes everywhere. I see it everywhere. And they're really kind of internet personalities that are living a little bit more outside of YouTube. They're really living on their own site.
That's cool.
So, yeah, I mean, they're awesome. They're a funny group of guys, but definitely.
And just about that Facebook commenting thing, that's another really interesting thing. It just seems like in the internet, luck gets luckier. You know what I mean? As opposed to like other media, basically. The floodgates are just out there and could go anywhere. It could go in 100 different directions.
It's very true, and it does.
Yeah,
occasionally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's those are kind of the internet celebrities that we wanted to talk about. So let's just talk a little bit about. We already kind of did.
Yeah.
Because we did, because it was hard to kind of keep the two separate. But let's finish up our thoughts on, what's appealing to creators and why would people want to become a YouTube celebrity.
I think we've just about hit every point, but let's like list it out.
So, yeah, I mean, you, I mean, we mentioned you don't have paparazzi,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You just
With
have
a little
commentators,
right,
which you can just ignore.
right, with a little bit of luck, which I mean, it happens in the movie industry too. But with a little bit of luck, you can break it big generally.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just a lot less barriers to it.
Right.
There's no barriers for you to create what you want to create.
That's the thing.
If you have a camera.
Right. If you have a camera, if you have the equipment, just do it.
Yeah.
And you can create what you want to create, and you could be a part of a community that supports you in doing that. Right. And that's the most important thing. Now, YouTube comments can be harsh, generally, but as you're just starting out, people are supportive.
Yeah.
You know, you follow each other, you talk to each other. That's just something that happens in the ground floor of YouTube.
Right.
And that's why people like to do YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, there's obviously the appeal of, I could be PewDiePie. I'll just do horror videos and overreact. That happens a lot, right? Yeah. It's a big thing, and people really think it's going to happen. It's, I mean, kind of the same thing as, like, I'm going to be LeBron James. I'll just practice basketball for a week, and then I'll be LeBron James.
Right.
People think it's the kind of the same thing.
I mean, I think that's a huge key of advice for anyone who wants to use YouTube or just the web in general is, like I said before, a lot of these popular people, they're smart. They know how to play things. Right. But all in all, they are themselves.
Right, and that's very important.
You have to be yourself and make sure, top priority, there's nothing wrong with wanting to get money out of this, because then you can make it your full-time job. But top priority is the information you want to get out, the feelings of expression. I
would say the main
stuff
thing
you believe in. You know,
right. The main thing is, are you proud of what you put out? Good. Then you're doing your job right now.
Yeah.
In the future, are you when you're making it big? Then you can worry about, all right, maybe I should start making these videos. They get a lot of views. That makes sense.
Right.
But you cannot just be like, those videos get a lot of views. I'll be one of the millions to do them.
Because there's 100 other people doing that, and it won't be as good, because it's not something you believe in.
Yes, you have to be yourself, and you have to figure out a way further down the line after you develop your own personality on YouTube. You have to figure out a way to integrate, those videos are getting a lot of views. How do I get those views?
Right.
And that's obviously the hardest part. That's where you find your audience, probably.
Yeah, but I guarantee you will find yourself before, you will. What am I trying to say? You will get popular before you learn all the tools. Generally, I feel like.
So that's another thing. Is a lot of people. This is what I was going to say. Is why would people want to become a YouTube celebrity? Almost everybody that we mentioned on here, I don't think started out, well, maybe with the exception of Markiplier or Game Grumps, who started kind of late. Mm-hmm. They didn't start out wanting to become a YouTube celebrity.
Yeah.
The Vlog Brothers, Rooster Teeth, probably even Vine Sauce just started out wanting to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden, they're incredibly popular and they're everywhere.
Right.
So now, that's usually not the case. Now people are very well aware, one thing goes viral, you could be huge.
Yeah.
It's in the back of everybody's mind, right? But even just a few years ago, that wasn't ever the case.
No.
People were just kind of like, oh, this is awesome. I found my community, I can do this.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people who become popular now still have that mentality. Yeah, I can become huge as in the background, but this is really cool.
But I got
something
to say. I got something to present here.
Right. This is really cool. I want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to start making YouTube videos.
Right.
And then they're popular and they go, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome that actually happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I just so to me, that's what you should really be striving for.
Right.
Is what is appealing to YouTube for you? It's not the big money. What's appealing to YouTube for me is being able to just make something that I'm proud of, have fun with it, release it, and then talk to people about it. Be a part of some kind of community. and grow that community.
Right.
That's definitely part of the fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So.
Yeah. It's a gateway to create. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah, basically. That's exactly what YouTube's supposed to be.
That's the biggest beauty of it all.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I mean, yeah, that was it's very appealing to creators. Basically, is what we're saying. YouTube is incredibly appealing. The internet in general is also incredibly appealing. I mean, we're not just YouTubers. We have our own website. We're trying to do that as well.
Reviews, discussions, all that stuff.
A lot of places,
we
I mean, we know people. Geek News Network, great example.
Yeah.
Trek Movie.
Yeah.
I know some people at Trek Movie. I mean, these people started out outside of YouTube, built a site,
right?
And built a community around it, and built an audience.
Yeah.
You can do it, and what's appealing to that is, this is going to sound really bad, you don't have YouTube comments. You have people.
Yeah.
You really,
it's true.
When you build that audience outside of that, you just don't have to worry about it. And YouTube's a great place. It's probably one of my favorite communities. It absolutely is. But if you can build your own community outside of it that works off that same principle, I mean, great.
Yeah.
More power to you. Go.
Yeah.
Go for it. It's hard because
Absolutely.
YouTubers support each other. We talked a little bit about collaboration.
Right.
It's a big part of it. When you're an independent site, that doesn't really happen that much.
Nope.
So.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
That's what we're all here for.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess the last thing I just want to mention really quickly, and this is a weird thing to end on, but I just want to talk a little bit about kind of commercialization and the appeal of YouTube to sponsors. I'm going to mention two people. I'm not saying that any of these people have sold out, so don't take that the wrong way. But what I am saying is that these people seem to be very appealing to sponsors. They have a very appealing format. Two of those people are Hannah Hart, who is awesome, and I love her. She's the greatest person ever. That's probably not true, but I love her. She's awesome. And Tyler Oakley, who's very, very big on YouTube. And these two people seem to, they've definitely caught the attention of YouTube. Because these were the first two people I saw with YouTube ads that were on TV. So Hannah Hart's ad came up. Tyler Oakley's ad came up later. I saw, of course, I don't have cable, so I saw it online, which I thought was funny and kind of ironic. But yeah, two very kind of big people, and you can tell sponsors are starting to flood these internet personalities, and really not just YouTubers, but everybody, starting to kind of flood them with offers.
Yeah, I think it's really funny. I think sponsors, just in general, are the definition of late to the game. It's like, they're here, they're big, we need to give them money.
Right, it's like, dude, guys, 4 years ago, you could have done that and gotten in on the ground floor. Now everybody's like, oh, hell no, you got to pay me a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Because I have an audience of 3.5 million.
Right.
So, what do you want from me? Really? That's what you want? That's what you're offering me? Yeah, no, it's very true. And I'm glad, YouTubers, I think very early on got taken advantage of from a lot of companies. I'm not a fan of Machinima because of that. Because Machinima just, took all these channels and no, we'll worry about the legal troubles. If game company comes after you, we got a whole legal department. And then the next thing you know, somebody's a year later is like, I think I want out of this contract. Machinima goes, that's interesting. We own you. Everything.
Oh my
and that's all in their contract. That you own the channel, the videos, and a 15-year-old signed a contract a year and a half ago. You know what I mean? It does smell a little bit scummy, basically. Yeah. And Machinima is not the only one. It's really not. There are a lot of companies that got in very early and just made some generally not great decisions.
Yeah. And
ripped a lot of people off.
It's because you look back just a couple years ago and things were so dang murky. There was apparently revenue to be made, but nobody quite understood it and stuff like that. So, it was a perfect place for sharks. Yeah. The water was foggy.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
But now everybody kind of generally knows what's up.
Yeah.
They know who their audience is. They know how to market themselves. There are lawyers and advisors and counselors who just work with YouTubers and internet personalities and tell them, no, absolutely do not take that. Absolutely do not take that deal. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Right? They're trying to screw you over. Besides just the companies trying to come in and kind of commercialize certain aspects, there's also just big sponsors who come in and are like, here's a car. Dude Perfect. Here's a BMW. Use that in some of your videos. I mean, good lord. Dude Perfect is literally a YouTube channel where they throw, it's kind of cool, admittedly, but where they throw like footballs really far distances into like a basketball hoop.
Yeah.
Like, they do trick shots.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And BMW hands them a fucking car? Like, what? That's insane.
Yeah.
And that's happening a lot now.
Yeah.
Like, that just happens all the time. And that's crazy. That's showing that these sponsors, although they're late to the game, are absolutely willing to bring up
going hard in now.
Yeah, they're bringing up
is
big
here.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're giving out cars, and advertising an entire year's worth of a show, and I mean, that kind of stuff is crazy. That's insane.
Right.
Felicia Day's company is now owned by Lionsgate. Yeah, I think it's Lionsgate.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like, I think Freddie Wong's company is owned by Lionsgate now. I mean, like, that kind of stuff, that's starting to become the kind of thing that I think we should be expecting over the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Felicia Day's company hasn't tanked because Lionsgate got smart enough to come in and went, so a few years ago, somebody bought up a YouTube channel and completely screwed it up and ran it into the ground because they wanted to make a bunch of changes. So instead, we're going to buy you
and not tamper with you.
And let you do your own thing.
Which is a huge, huge difference in the YouTube community
and if you
as opposed to other stuff.
At the top YouTubers right now, you would be shocked how many of them are owned by giant companies. Fullscreen is one of them. Fullscreen now owns Rooster Teeth. They own the Fine Brothers, who do like the Teens React, Elders React videos. They own Cyanide and Happiness, which isn't even really a YouTube channel. It's a webcomic. I mean, Fullscreen just owns a bunch of things, and they don't screw with people.
Yeah.
I mean, Cyanide and Happiness can do some fucked up shit on their webcomic and make some messed up jokes. Fullscreen, they're like, great, do your own thing. Just, like, we're not going to get hugely involved. We're just going to make suggestions, whatever. And here's a bunch of money to be able to do what you want.
Yeah.
That's where companies are going, and I'm happy to see that happening.
I wish other companies and producers would kind of take the hint on that of, it's such a simple idea, don't fix what's not broken kind of thing. It just hurts me so much when I see that, especially in the music industry.
Yeah, like, why are you messing with it?
Yeah.
Don't mess with it. It's working. They know their audience. They know where to go from here. What changed in Rooster Teeth the most, in my opinion, their output changed. They kept to a significant, a strict schedule from what I've seen. And they have end cards at the end of all their YouTube videos that are like, subscribe here, go to the next video here.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 things I've seen that have changed the most. They're all great changes.
Yeah.
I really appreciate them. I love the fact that I'm like, oh, I know when that video is coming out. It's coming out on Saturday, and that one's coming out on Wednesday. And but they have a schedule. They stick to it. The end cards don't bother me. Why would I care?
No, they're beneficial.
They're incredibly beneficial sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And if those are the things that change, and the culture stays the same within the company of Rooster Teeth, like, that's happening to a lot of YouTubers.
You got a mighty fine entertainment system there.
I think it works, and Fullscreen makes a lot of money. They're going to make a shit ton.
Yeah.
Because they're able to go to sponsors and go, look, take your pick. We got an 8 million subscribed YouTube channel, a 5 million subscribed YouTube channel, and a 12 million subscribed YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The 12 million one, yeah, that's 18 to 25-year-olds. Great. And then Coca-Cola gives them $4 million to do something cool.
Yeah.
Like, that works.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, in my opinion, that's capitalism that is still driving and allowing creativity to thrive.
Yeah.
Without fucking with it.
Very true.
And that's a good thing. We should be encouraging that.
Yeah.
These companies are going to make mistakes. Like, they're going to make mistakes. They're giant corporations. They move really slow. Somebody's going to fuck up. It's already happened multiple times, right? Like, but what's great to me is that you can see these people being bought up. They say, hey, we're being bought by this big company. And then over the next few months, it just gets better.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see. And I feel like that's happening. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to see, what keeps happening with that.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. And if something screwed up happens, like, can't the user, like, worst case scenario, make a new YouTube site?
Yeah.
Something different?
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
hands,
you gotta leave, you gotta start over from scratch, but you're the personality, you're the people, you're the thing that people are there for.
Exactly. So
like, if you leave, you leave.
Yeah, all this talk we've been doing about just, like, the possibilities of getting cars and Coca-Cola sponsorships, it's so easy to suddenly see yourself being turned into a green-eyed monster.
Yeah.
It's very appealing. Absolutely. Yeah. Just because it is YouTube and it's more accessible and the possibilities are becoming greater and greater. Mm-hmm. But again, I say, when you're starting from the ground up, you gotta first work hard and be true to yourself.
Yeah.
And I guess another good thing would be just to don't expect anything.
Yeah.
It's
very true.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you don't, and you're yourself,
then you
start
cool
from the
stuff.
bottom up, and you don't go anywhere, who cares?
Yeah.
You made cool stuff, you had a great couple of years, you had fun doing it. Yeah. I hope. Absolutely. If you didn't, I think you were in it for the wrong reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's YouTube, and internet, and personalities, and celebrities and stuff.
It's pretty dang cool.
It is pretty dang cool. So, yeah. Let us know what you guys think about.
Yeah, I hope you guys stuck around and enjoyed this conversation, because this was really cool. I enjoyed talking about this a lot.
This is a really interesting topic, because this is very it's very relevant right now.
Yeah.
YouTube is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Internet personalities are just... the only way to go is up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see this crashing.
No.
At all. I mean, this is just going to keep going up. So.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think, and if we missed any...
if there's any YouTube celebrities you think we missed, go check out some of these guys.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're both very entertaining, and I think you could learn a lot from them.
Yeah, if you're interested in, Let's Plays, or vlog content, or any of the other things that we talked about, or even more produced stuff, like more edited stuff like JonTron, things like that. Yeah. Go check it out. Go check all these people out, and tell us what you think. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think about commercialization.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a hot topic, but definitely about what attracts you and what you find interesting about.
Yeah.
What makes you a fan.
Yeah.
Of these people.
What tickles your humor button.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Definitely.
All that jazz.
So, all right. Well, you can find us at facebook.com/thefanvoicepodcast.
youtube.com/thefanvoicepodcast.
Twitter @fanvoicepodcast.
google.com/+thefanvoicepodcast.
Our email, fan@thefanvoice.com.
And our website, thefanvoice.com, where you can find news, reviews, discussions, and all that good stuff.
All right. So we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
All right.